Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this video I have for you game 2 of a best of 3 between Fanty and Shkodder in the quarterfinal of season 7 of the Steel Division 2 League. Today they are playing on Haroshaje, and on our left in the red team, playing on the Soviet side once again, we have Fanty using the 97th Guards Rifles and the Maverick deployment type. And on our right in the blue team, playing on the Axis side, we have Shkodder using the first Lovas and the balanced deployment type. So the deployment type's different this time around. Maverick, of course, going to be going for that 20-25 minute win. If it gets past that point, then Shkodder's going to have a huge advantage in Phase C. With the balanced deployment type, you have 155 points per minute in Phase C, whereas with the Maverick deployment type, you've only got 80. So you can see that's almost double for Shkodder. So Shkodder should take the win if this goes into the deep late game, but he's going to have a hell of a hard time on his hands trying to hold back the 97th in the early game, because the 97th is a pretty damn good division. They've got a lot up their sleeve, some great off-map, some good tanks, decent infantry. Whereas Shkodder, he's almost entirely reliant on his infantry light armor combo, which in the open ground, especially on a map like Haroshaje, is going to be kind of hard to manage. So it's going to be very dependent on the town here in the middle, which is, I guess, a focal point on Haroshaje. But you can, of course, sometimes push on either side, and sometimes players choose to do that. Either way, let's have a quick look at what's going down for Fanty. He's got the 3 Gavardia on the top side here with 2 Flamers and a 45. Further down towards the centre, rather large set of forces. He's got 4 Flamers, 2 OBs, these are the infantry guns, 3 Gavardia DP squads, the guards with the extra machine gun, 37mm AA, there's going to be a T-34-76 Rozvedka, which is the Recon T-34, 2 Strafniki, these are big 20-man squads, great firepower, 3 MGs, plenty of rifles, and then 2 Avtokomrotis. I'm not a big fan of the Avtokomroti, just due to them having like low health or low strength, and they're only 2-man leader squads, but they are cheap, so that's usually why these players would bring them. T-34-76 Rozvedka there, and a Tanko at the back in the M2A1 half track. On the bottom side, it's just going to be Maxim Gavardia 45mm. Probably just going to try and defend this road. Maybe have a Maxim somewhere out in the open to cover that open ground. Over on the side of Shkodder, let's have a quick look. He's got the Haroshaje, he's got a Toldi 2A, he's got a Toldi 1, and a 40mm with the Feldarito Yaror on that top side. That's just the 2-man recon squad, like an Afkara. There is the Haroshaje, those are Flamer squads. With the Shkodder, there's going to be a bunch of Haroshaje. These are big 16-man squads with 3 machine guns. And then 2 Haroshaje, which again 16-man squads but with less machine guns, more rifles, great at medium range engagements. Lovas, which is his leader, the 40mm or 40M 75mm, sorry, which is basically a Pak 40. Toldi 2A, 2 of those, Turan 2 and 2 Turan 1s. On the bottom side, it's going to be the Pancel Toro Raketa, which is the Panzerschreck, and then there's Haroshaje, 2 of those, the Flamer squads. Shvalos are on the bottom side, 2 Haroshaje and a Turan 2. There is also going to be a Ju-88 coming out of the start here for Shkodder, so relying on that recon aircraft again to see where the concentration of the enemy forces is, and so he can, I guess, react accordingly. So it's going to be a little bit of engagement down here on the bottom side. The Shvalos versus the 45, unless the 45 can just pop that in the open, but I think Shkodder sees it unload there, so he's going to be opening up onto the Gavardia to begin with. A little bit of a Flamer engagement here. Looks like that was a 2v1. Shkodder going to be losing out. When you do have these Flamers coming into the positions early on, it is all about numbers. You really want to be able to overwhelm your opponent with your own Flamers. And the nice thing about Flamers is they're 2-men squads that can push the front line very quickly, usually in fast transports. But the Haroshaje here, at range, they're going to make short work of any Flamer squad. And the Haroshaje go to Solar Shock. You see how quickly they are pinning down the Strafniki at range, even though these Strafniki also have 3 machine guns. But the Haroshaje go to Solar Shock with the 3 Solitherns, with the 12 rifles, certainly pin down things quickly. And the Shvalos are helping out a lot there, with Turan also coming in with its 2 machine guns to give a hand. 45mm does win the engagement with the Shvalos on the bottom side. 4 squad does get taken out there in the open. But some early off-map here for Shkodder. That must have come in with an off-map plane, because I did not see, well, I do not see a off-map vehicle on the ground here. So off-map going to be landing. Looks like it may land okay. It's going to be really up to this Haroshaje to make the most of it though, because ideally with an off-map like this is you want to surrender the opposing forces if you can, particularly large squads like the Strafniki, because it saves you ammo, it saves you time. So hopefully you'll move in there for the surrender. Obviously the Flamer squad still not pinned down just yet, but that off map is certainly going to help a little bit. Looks like Fanty's going to bring in his own off map to reply. 3 more Gavardia on their way as well. Shkodder opting for a Haroshaje. The Flamer squad going to get picked up in the open there, surely. I'm surprised how long it's taken these Haroshaje actually to get the kills. The T-34 is going to be engaging that tank on the top side. That was a Turan 2. T-34-76. Trying to move up and do some damage there. The Turans, they can engage these T-34-76s at close range, because these are the ones that only have 75mm of armor. So the Turan 1 with the 75mm of penetration at close range is going to have enough to get through that. Haroshaje being forced back on the bottom side though, and there is going to be a T-34-85 on the way. Now these T-34-85s will really be hard for Shkodder to deal with unless he has Ju-87s with cluster or the Panzerschrecks. So those are the 2 options that he really has to deal with that kind of thing. Here comes the off-map planer once again though. So it is the 210mm off-map from the Focke-Wulf 189. Off-map coming down for Fanty right now. Looks like the Avto Conrati on the bottom side got killed, probably got caught up in the off-map. Looks like the P-39 Cobra going to be coming in for the Focke-Wulf, but that's way far gone. Off-map being thrown on both sides now. So Fanty replying with his own. And both players just trying to whittle down their opponent. These Haroshaje unfortunately not falling back just yet, just taking 3 damage out in the open. There is another 4DM on the way, the 75mm, basically the Pak 40. If that can get Overwatch on the bottom side of the town, he might be able to clip a few of these tanks like the T-34, the T-34-85, etc. A kill onto the Gavardia DP. Going to be forcing back some other forces, but I don't think there was too much damage done there. The strike from Fanty might do some damage, but again, these are all in cover, so unless they get direct hits, they're not going to take much damage, and even so, see the damage there is negligible. Nice hit here though by the off-map. That killed a transport that was bringing in a new squad and the leader in one hit, so that was really, really nice. Alright, Nimrod is now on the field. Now these Nimrods are actually pretty scary for T-34s because they do have AP shells with 75mm of penetration. So in theory, they can kill T-34s at close range. Also, they have the heat round, which I think is a rocket technically, which has 200mm of penetration that they can use within 750 meter range. But it's not very accurate, so not something you're going to be really relying on. And Cobra's actually coming in for the strafing run onto the Nimrod. That's cheeky. The Nimrod was moving there, so it wasn't really firing very well. Totally backing off. Nothing it can do in the face of a T-34-85. Too much armor for that Toldy 2 to get the job done. T-34 76 Resvitka finishes the job off. Shkodder going to be backing up with the Nimrod. I don't think he's going to engage the T-34-76 with the Nimrod, mainly because the Nimrod doesn't have the health to really match up. I'm pretty sure a T-34 will one-shot a Nimrod if it gets the shot on target. Not 100% on that, but that's what I would assume. Oh, well, I guess we just almost found out there, as the T-34 did get a shot off, and it didn't die, so there we go. It can survive more than one shot, but now it will only survive one shot because it's already damaged. So a quick little test there sorts out that mystery. The 75mm is going to take out the T-34 replica in reply. JU-88 coming in on the bottom side now. IL-2 though looking for the 40M. I'm surprised what... Well, I'd be curious to know what actually spotted that. Maybe it's just because it came too fast to the edge. Maybe got spotted by the Max in there or something. Not entirely sure, but the Focke-Wulf going to be doing the same on the bottom side, using the recon information from the JU-88 to make decisions here. And it looks like the idea was to clear that AT gun so that he could then push in with this infantry on the bottom side. The two Haroshaje Shkodder, the Turan 2s, going to be able to easily overwhelm that Gavardia. It's going to force Fanty to reinforce his bottom side. But the town is the most important part right now. And currently, Shkodder's having a hard time. Fanty's starting to make some decent ground here. He's captured this flag temporarily, putting him at the 14-10. Looks like, is that new off map coming in? Or was that just being used as recon? I think he might have just been using it as recon, because I think they only get 2 strikes. So if that's the same one as earlier, then that wouldn't be able to do anything. But off map here from Fanty, gonna hit true in the town shortly. Haroshaje Shkodder. Are they gonna be able to get the job done here? Looks like he's just gonna go for the surrender. Or not. Okay, now he realizes he can. Too late. 45 was spotted here. I don't think he wants to get his infantry sniped. So, yeah, just going to be cleaning that up with the Turan 2s. The Turan 2s do have some decent HE value, so able to clean that up nicely. Tanko actually moving through here. The off-map pinning down quite a lot of these troops. Nimrod cleaning up one of them. Will it clean up the other? Yes, it will. Takes them out nice and easy. Leaves 2 Haroshaje behind the lines. I think Shkodder was pretty lucky here that the Toldi-2A wasn't pinned, because I think that's primarily the reason that the Haroshaje did not surrender. But the Cobra there able to take down that recon aircraft, and well, Shkodder might buy another one, but I doubt it. Without his own AA, he can't really afford to buy another recon and have it shot down again. The Haroshaje Shkodder, they're trying to make ground on this bottom side. The T-34-76 Razvedka is going to be a problem because these Haroshaje Shkodder don't have any AT. He doesn't have any Haroshaje, he doesn't have like his Panzerschreck. Like, none of this infantry moved forwards with him, so he's kind of missing quite a big chunk of support. And the Haroshaje Shkodder, they're going to be able to kill the 45, but there's now 2 Tankos on the way. At close range, the Tankos Desarniki can easily kill Haroshaje Shkodder because these are light machine guns. They can't use them within the 100-meter range. So the Haroshaje Shkodder, they lose their primary capability, which is their ranged engagement. But yeah, this is looking really, really rough in the center here. Just the off-map of Fanty has really, really done the job so far. Toldi-2A trying to get some pinning done here onto the Strafniki, but its HE shell barely does any penetration, and the Strafniki are popping their PTRDs at it and are actually going to get the kill there. So that's pretty tough to deal with. Again, Tankos here at close range. Haroshaje Shkodder just can't do anything. They have to run away, and with the M2A1s to support, the M2A1s are just going to be able to shoot these Haroshaje Shkodder for free because they can't do anything to reply. It's going to be really up to the Turan 2s to save the bacon of those Haroshaje Shkodder. T-34, 85. Taking some shots at the Turan 2. Is going to get the hit. Gets the kill. Lovely stuff. This Haroshaje sort of shot going to be trying to move across. But the tankers are there. It's not a nice engagement for the Haroshaje sort of shot. Now one thing that's quite interesting about these M2A1s is they can't actually fire their 50 cal when an enemy infantry is within 100 meter range of the half track. So I think Fanty there was trying to like run that down to surrender it, but it looks like instead he's just going to carry on. T-34 does take out that tank on the bottom side. We're finally going to see the Jagdpanzer arrive. I'm actually kind of surprised that Shkodder didn't bring these in earlier on. The Jagdpanzer 38T is probably the best thing that he's got to deal with the T-34-85s. He might have actually saved them for B in his deck. Actually, that might be why we didn't see them in the early game. But 14-10 in favor of Fanty. We did see Shkodder make an awesome comeback in the first game, and he's set up to make another comeback in this game. If he can hold on for another 10 minutes or so, Shkodder will almost definitely win with the balanced deployment type, I would expect. Lovely kill there onto the T-34 using the PaK-40, so that's certainly helpful. And it looks like this PaK-40 might be able to find a kill onto this T-34 as well. And if he can keep breaking down these tanks, then it allows his tanks to then push through the enemy infantry quite nicely. Haroshaje do find the kill onto that lone half track. Haroshaje's Haroshaje survived to fight another day. They didn't get surrendered in the end. And this one's now surrounded as well, but still alive, so probably relatively happy with that. But he does need to get some more stuff in here if he doesn't want to be pushed or counter-pushed onto. Because the biggest problem you have with like a failed push into a part of the map is your opponent's like reinforcing it like crazy, right? And then if you don't continue to fight on that side of the map, they can just easily counter push you. You gotta be very, very careful. Turan2's double machine gun, HE shell with 1.5 damage. Gonna start chunking these squads if they just get to free fire on them all day. Haroshaje, gotta be careful. Or just unloads them in time. Haroshaje's Haroshaje gonna get engaged at close range there. Oh, nice kill by the Turan. I think it took out a couple of vehicles there. Very nicely done. I think one of them probably had like a Tanko in it or something. Or maybe it was the Sapere. The Sapere managed to get rid of one of the Haroshaje's Haroshaje because they engaged, you know, at close range, but look at that. Otherwise, all of those are pinned down. So if Fanty doesn't pull them back, he's going to lose a lot of men. He's even lost some in the town. The Haroshaje getting these really, really good medium range engagements going, which is exactly what they're good for. More reliance on the Shkodder though, which is interesting. Not a huge fan of this machine gun. I just think it's very lackluster. I understand Shkodder in the previous game using his MG42s offensively because they can be really, really good. But in this case, like the Shkodder, I don't know if it's really that good in comparison. Like the Strafniki, yeah, just going to pin it down at range. Oh no, here it comes. We're into phase B with the 97th, and he's brought in the 132mm off-map vehicle. This bad boy can bring in a barrage of rockets. It's like from a barge, basically, like a rocket barge on a river that is firing a load of rockets. And well, we'll just watch them come in, and you guys can see for yourself exactly how much damage this is going to do. Goodbye Turan 2, goodbye Nimrod, goodbye Leader Squad. Oh, goodbye Shkodder, goodbye to the Tist. Another Shkodder is going down there. Haroshaje getting chipped very, very fast. Turan 2, bye-bye. And, well, would you look at that? Everything's just gone. I'm surprised that Turan 2 is still alive. Haroshaje got his shoulder shock. Haroshaje going down. Both of those squads now dead. Oh, there it goes. Turan 2 now dead. And just like that, Fanty wins the town. That's the beauty of the 97th. is they do get access to the 132mm off map, and that was a beautiful strike. 15-9 now, sitting on the double tick. Super important that he does, because he's not got long until Shkodder kicks off with the balanced deployment type. Although I say that, it might not even matter for the 97th about Shkodder being in phase C with the first Lovas, because as long as like Fanty can keep his like heavy armor alive, he should just continue to trade very well. And it would be really up to him to just like trade the 2 for 1. It's up to these Jagdpanzers basically to get the job done. Some more Haroshajes on the way. These ones having their MG42s. Definitely a lot better at like the range engagement than the standard Haroshaje. But the Haroshaje are the kings at the long range, and if you give them some good veterancy, they can be absolutely nasty. This Focke-Wulf just being used to recon mostly. Oh, now we got the 300mm coming in as well. So this is a plane that brings in Haroshaje off the map, which is almost as powerful as the barge riverboat off map. So yeah, we'll see if this actually gets put down. It might go down because of the Nimrod though. Yeah, it looks like the Nimrod's got its number. This 300mm is really hard to use. Because it's so slow of an aircraft, it's very easy to shoot down with AA. And in this case, Shkodder looks like he was potentially thinking about getting the kill onto that off-map plane with the Focke-Wulf 190, but it's not going to matter in the end. 37 forces it back regardless. On the bottom side, told he's going to be making a little bit of a push. He's got some Haroshaje with the MG42s here ready to push forwards. Here we see the Focke-Wulf coming in for that bombing strike. Oh, that's unfortunate. Slightly misplaced. Pins down his own unit in the process. Oh, that's a shame. If he'd placed that just slightly further back, he could have pinned all of those. And this is surprising because Shkodder in the first game was doing a really good job of that, making sure that he bombed beyond the enemy so that he pinned them down and didn't pin his own forces in the process and then allow his own forces to continue the engagement. But here the Gvardia going to recover faster than the Haroshaje and therefore the Hasa going to surrender. That's very, very sad for Shkodder there. Could have been a big win on the bottom side of the town, but instead he actually relinquishes his flag in favour of Fanty, so making his job just that little bit harder. This bottom side push, he's really got a lot riding on this because he needs to stop this double tick in its tracks. If he could stop it, so it's only like a 1 tick, it would go up to like 6 minutes at this point, and then we'd be reaching like the 25-minute mark where the income from the balanced deployment type might just allow him to get back in the game. But at the moment, things not looking good. Toldi is going to go down 17-7 now in favour of Fanty, as he does also capture this flag briefly, but the Haroshaje going to be able to force back the Gvardia in the open. But the Haroshaje moving up here. I mean, they've got quite a long way to go. If they've got to get through the Gvardia squad, they've got to get through the Tanko Dasarniki. At close range, they can't use the MG42, so the Tanko's still going to be king in this engagement, even if they don't have Molotovs, and that one even has one left, so very difficult. Jagdpanzer doesn't want to go head on to a 45mm with APCR. Haroshaje here is going to be able to capture that flag back at least. Ju-88 bombing strike came in. Did a little bit of damage to the Gvardia, but doesn't have anything to capitalise on that pin. So, Gvardia do lose to the Haroshaje. Haroshaje in the open there, taking out a Gvardia in cover, in green cover. Pretty good, actually. Tankos were given the order to chase down the Haroshaje. Did cost them dearly. 1 minute left, though. The timer's going down. Shkodder is running out of time. Just going to get harder and harder. Big amount of infantry coming in here. Fanty just looking to solidify his position in the town. Jagdpanzer committing to the engagement with the T-34 and the 45. No, never mind. It's going to back off. Surely he's got to push forwards, like regardless of whether or not it costs him troops or not. Nice kill onto the 45 there with the Haroshaje. That was actually really fast, so the Jagdpanzer is going to be able to move forwards and engage the T-34. Just as much a chance though that the T-34 will kill the Jagdpanzer, especially if it's not stopped in time. So the T-34-85 fired first. So I expect the T-34-85 to get the kill here. Or he manages to trade, but that's not going to be enough because the T-34-76 is going to be in the way of the Haroshaje as they push towards the flag. 26 seconds remaining. Jagdpanzer engaging T-34 in the town. More Haroshaje on the way. Focke-Wulf even coming in for a bombing strike on the top side. Not even sure where that was aimed. Yeah, this is over. GG Fanty, did enough. Lovely off-map strike there. I did not expect to see that today. But there it is. Beautiful stuff. 22 minutes, 48 seconds. Fanty gets one back from Shkodder just like that. And, well, I think Fanty kind of proved his point from the first game. He was almost there in the first game, but in this game he sealed the deal. That off-map did the job. And, well, even though he was negative, look at that. 1,765 kills to 2,085 losses. Still wins the day. Just not trading very well into the Turans. The Turans, the great thing about the Turans, actually, is they are very cheap. So when you are getting kills with them, it does trade favorably toward you. So Shkodder was making good use of that. But yeah, I don't think it really mattered in the end. That off-map was just devastating. It just hit so much stuff. It was ridiculous. T-34-76 from Vidka, managing to get a couple turns there in the Toldi. This T-34-85 certainly caused issues with Shkodder in the town. No Panzerschreck there to help deal with that. No Hetzer early on, or I guess there was 75mm in the town, but it's always difficult to use that. The riverboat killed the two Turans, killed the Nimrod, Haroshaje, Lovas. Yeah, that's all he really needed to do. And then he's just got to sacrifice units enough times that he wins the game from there. These 75mm getting some good kills throughout the game. There was at one point where Shkodder really started to hammer down on the armor that Fanty had. I think that's where he picked up a lot of his kills, but he just couldn't really capitalize on it fast enough. It was just over too quickly. Yeah, the Maverick versus balanced deployment type. It's very difficult. You've got to make sure that you hold on for dear life, and with the first Lovas versus 79th or 97th, sorry. That's a hard deal. It really is. Shkodder putting himself in a bit of a predicament here, I feel, with his division choice. But there you have it. Yeah, great second game. First one was very exciting. This one kind of cut and dry from Fanty, I feel. I had a game plan and executed it. We'll have to see what they do in game 3 and who will win and move on from the quarterfinal into the semis. We'll find out soon. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.